What's up everyone, it's Kamikaze, and today I wanted to talk about how I almost lost my YouTube channel with about 4,000 subscribers. So, this is an interesting story. Yeah, it happened over the weekend, and so basically it involves a lot of weird stuff, and it's a long story. It starts with me being in government class, and basically ends with me running around my school's parking lot after dark, eating a chicken quesadilla. What the heck? Yeah, it's a weird story. Let's get right into it, guys. So I was in government class. Yes. It was Friday. It was a nice afternoon, and so it was a normal day like any other, and it got weird. So I was sitting there and I was texting my brother because I'm doing indoor track. And so it was my first day of indoor track, like practice. We had our first practice. And so it was my first day. It was on Friday. And so I was pretty pumped, man. Like, most people don't get too excited about running, but I was kind of excited. I want to meet some new people, get out there and get active, I guess. So I was texting my brother and I was like, "Hey man, so where should we meet after school? Because we had to meet somewhere to go to indoor track or whatever." And he's like, "Okay, just meet by my car." And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm in government class. I wait, and we finished government class. So I walk out to my brother's car, and we just kind of hang out there. I would say for about 10 minutes maybe. And he does some random stuff, like his friends come out and they all drive. I don't have a driver's license. Freaking sucks, man. But like, so I was sitting out there, and they were doing random stuff. They did some weird things. They got out a can of silly string and just started, oh my god, spraying it on one of their friends' cars. It was weird. It was some sort of weird revenge, and oh my god. It was a weird 10 minutes. I'm just going to say that. So we're finally done, and most of the people are like kind of leaving the parking lot. And so me and my brother were like, "Okay, we got to go, because we're 10 minutes like this is 10 minutes after school. We probably should have met there 5 minutes beforehand, and yeah, we're 10 minutes late." So, well, actually, probably only like 5. So we're walking in, and everyone's already situated on the stairwell, and that's where evidently all the track kids meet. I don't even know. So they're all situated on the stairwell, and we're walking in. We are the last people. We are the last people to come there, and I'm like, "Oh my god." It's fine. Everyone knows my brother, and no one knows me. It's great. I'm the new kid there, and I'm like, "Okay." It's fine. I had some friends that I knew that were doing it, so I just kind of hung out with them. And so we're sitting there, and they call my name, and I'm like, "Okay." And so we go outside. Now, I had my phone in my pocket because I was in such a rush to get out there and, get to the stairwell because we were late. I forgot to put my phone in the car. I was going to leave it in the car, and, you don't want to run with a phone. I brought everything, I didn't bring anything except for my clothes and my phone. So that was pretty much it. I didn't have a bag to put it in. So we're walking out there, and I asked one of my friends. I'm like, "Hey man, can I put my phone in your bag?" And well, it's a girl. We'll call her Abby. How about that? We'll just call her Abby. Oh, that's not her actual name, but like I want to keep the stuff private. So I I go into her bag, and I was putting it in the pocket, and then I noticed, she has her tampons in one of the bags. I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's not put my phone in there." So I put it in one of the side pockets, and I walk away, and I forget about it. So then we run our little warm-up lap, and yeah, so it was already hell. Quarter mile, and already I'm like, I'm dead inside. I'm like, "Oh no." I'm a runner, but like that just for some reason tired me out so much. So I'm done, and I'm a long distance runner, okay? And so I thought for the first day that they probably wouldn't split us up into different groups. Yeah, they did. So the person that I gave my phone to was a sprinter. I was a long distance runner. We split up. Now this is where things get weird because I would not see my phone nor Abby until Monday. Yeah. It was interesting. So I get into our groups, and the guy, the coach guy, he's an older guy, and he's like, "Okay, so we're gonna start running or whatever, and so we're gonna do the stadium loop." Now, me being the new person there, of course he knows everyone there except for me. All the freshmen actually did not track and field. They did cross country during the fall. I didn't do cross country. So I was the new kid there, and I was like, okay. So he's like, okay, everyone teach Nathan the stadium loop or whatever heck it was called. It's a 2 mile course. And I'm like, okay, okay. And it wasn't too awful. It was a longer run, I guess. I wasn't used to it. So I didn't do too much like running or training over the fall season. So I was like, okay, I did a couple of 5Ks. So I was like, okay. So we're running the course and everything, and it took me a while because I didn't know where the heck we were running. I didn't know what the stadium loop is, and it basically goes all around our school. Like, I mean, like the property, like boundaries. We were right by the road at one point, and I was like, okay. So it was a long course. It was 2 miles, and so I get back finally, and the sprinters are gone. And by gone, I mean out of sight. I have no idea where they are. So I go up to the coach, out of breath, like completely like, ugh, because I was running 2 miles, of course, and I wasn't used to it. Like it wasn't too bad, but I was out of breath like almost completely, and so I'm like wheezing over here. I'm like, hey, so where's my phone? Because it's a $900 phone. I'm like, one of my friends has it. Like, where are all the sprinters? And he's like, oh, okay. They're inside. I'm like, okay, can I like run in like for a second once I catch my breath and everything? Can I run in and then can I go get my phone? And he's like, well, why don't we just do some extra workouts and other stuff? We had some other things that he had planned. I'm like, okay. So I was catching my breath by then. I don't know. I was fine. And so yeah, another mistake. I should have told him I want to go in and get my phone because things happened. So we are running around the course, and he's telling me, okay, so do 150 meters and then 50 meters rest. Like sprint 150 meters or so. Well, not like sprint, but like fast run 150 meters and then, oh my God, my voice. Fast run 150 meters and then rest for 50 meters. Do that 8 times. So that's 3/4 of a mile. So I did all that. And it was decently hard. Actually, 8 times. You know what? It was actually 6 times. Now that I think about it. Yeah, because I did 3 laps of it, so that would have been 6 times. Okay, so I did the 6 times, and I'm like, okay, I come back and I'm like, dude, I need to get my phone. Like, I don't know where the heck this girl Abby is at this point. Like, she's way far away. She's inside the building, and I don't know. I haven't seen her since. Like, I'm pretty gosh darn worried. Like, again, it's my new phone that I just got. And like, bro, I need to get my phone. But he's an older guy, so he didn't really care. Like, okay, boomer, but yeah, it's fine. I respect that, and I was like, okay, it's whatever. I'll get my phone. They're probably not gonna be finished, and so they're inside stretching, and I'm like, bro, they've been inside stretching for so long. You would think that they've been moved on to something or they're somewhere else, but nope. He said they're still inside stretching. So he told me to do as the final thing, run up the bleachers that we have. So, and they're actually pretty tall bleachers, not gonna lie. So we had to do that 10 times. So I ran up the bleachers, ran down, did all that. And so we're walking back, and he is like, okay, so we're all done. And my brother, we did our cool down stretch, and my brother leaves. He's my ride. He's my ride. He didn't like leave, like he didn't drive away, but he's walking to the other side of the school. Well, he didn't walk inside the school. He went to the other, basically the other side of the school's property where the student parking is. I'm like, okay, this is great. So I'm all the way on the track, and I'm over here talking to this guy, and I'm like, hey man, I really need to get my phone, and I have to go. My brother's my ride. Like, this dude, I was running out of patience a little bit. Like, dude, oh my God. But I was gonna be nice. I mean, he doesn't know me. You gotta be nice to people that you don't know, because that's first impressions. So I'm like, okay, I'll try and be patient. So he's like, okay, I gotta go lock some things up, and then I'll get you inside the school so you can go get your phone, because you can't get inside the school without like an ID or whatever. I don't know. So he's like 3 minutes later, he finally walks up, and he's like, okay, let's go inside the school. So this coach and I were walking inside the school, and we're walking across, and like, I don't know, some of the cheerleaders were still practicing, and we were like, okay, we walked by, and they should have been practicing at the stairwell. No one was there. So we're walking past, we're walking down, all the way down, and we're like, okay, where could these people be, And so we're walking down, and then I see 3 people three three of the sprinters, they're sitting on a bench waiting for their parents to pick them up. Sprinting was released early. Actually, 5 to 10 minutes early. Everyone was already gone. And I'm like, oh my god. Actually, you know what? It might have been even longer. I don't even know. But basically, spring was released early. This girl, Abby, had left. Everyone else had left. The coach, we were pretty sure, had left. I'm like, oh my god. And so I was talking to the dude, and I was getting worried now, because, like, dude, there goes my phone, you know? I thought she left with it. Probably she might have forgotten about it, and she left with it. But then I'm like, she might have given it to the coach to give to, I don't know. She probably might have given it to the coach just for her to handle it. I don't know. And so I was talking to the guy, and I'm like, hey, can we find the coach? Because I didn't know the coach was still in the building. So we're going around, and we're going around the school, and we go to her I don't know, her teaching place, her classroom, and the lights are dark. She's not there. And then he's like, okay, I think she might be in the wrestling room. No idea why. She might have. I don't know why she would have been in the wrestling room, but she's like, okay. And this is one of the most ironic moments of the story. I am walking down the hallway, and this is where the phone passes me. The phone literally, the wrestling kids walk in. One of the wrestling kids had my phone. And I'll explain that later on in the story. I finally figured out that the wrestling group had picked up my phone and had brought it inside. I walked by looking for my phone, and I walked by the very people that had my phone to look for the person I thought had my phone. Yeah, she wasn't there. She was in the wrestling room. I'm like, dude, I gotta go now. Okay. Thank you for, like, walking around. And I was talking to the coach, and I was like, thank you for walking me around. But, because he was talking about going to another place where she might be, and I'm like, I'm sorry, man, I gotta go. Thank you for everything. Thank you for helping me out. You didn't have to do this. This was very nice of you. Like, okay. So I was pretty respectful about it. And so I walk out, and I get into my brother's car, and he's freaking mad. Because he called me 4 times, and I'm like, bud, I don't have my phone. I lost it. I had no way of contacting you. And he's like, oh my god. He was pissed, man. Because we were supposed to go out and get haircuts and food and stuff. And I just wasted 20 minutes walking through the school looking for my phone. And he's like, okay. So so I explained it to him, and he was like, okay, yeah, I mean, I kind of understand that. So we drive out. I'm like, hey, just to make sure, I want to stop by the track and make sure that maybe she didn't leave it. That didn't really cross my mind in the first place, which it should have. I was like, hey, maybe she might have left it there. And so he was so angry at me. And I'm like, let's just check just to make sure. I mean, I don't want to leave my phone sitting there over the weekend because people use that track, and I don't want it to get stolen. Like, oh my god. So we're going down there, and so I jump out of the car, and I'm running down, and we're already losing daylight. Like, it's the sunset. There is a sunset, and so I'm going down, and nothing there where I thought she might have left my phone, and I'm like, okay, great. So I walk up, and I see the coach, the sprinting coach, the person that I was searching for 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god, thank you. So have you seen my phone? No, she had no idea what I was talking about. Great. So I'm like, okay, thank you. Have a nice day, whatever. So I go into the car, and we drive away. We go to our gas station, and at this point, I'm admitting defeat that I lost my phone, and I have no idea where it is. Yeah. And, when in doubt, call your parents. Unless they're doing something that you don't want your parents to know about. So I called my mom. I'm like, hey, man, so I kind of lost my phone. And she's like, okay. I'm surprised she didn't, like, freak out. Normally, like, dude, the phone I literally got, like, a month ago, and I already pretty much lost it. I have no idea where it is. So normally, she would freak out at that. And she was like, no, she was actually, like, really nice about it. And I think at this point, she was just like, okay, you make your own mistakes. You're paying for it. I don't really care. I think that's her mindset at this point. So I'm like, okay. So I ask her, and I'm like, can you text one of my friends? We'll call him Jack. So can you call Jack's mom, text Jack's mom and ask her for this girl Abby's phone number through Jack? And she's like, okay, yeah, sure. So she does that, and it takes a while because, of course, it's the loop. She has to ask Jack's mom, which will then have to ask Jack, which will then have to ask me, and that's got to go all the way back up the line. So I'm like, okay, that'll probably take a couple hours to even learn what she did with my phone. I had no idea where she left it, where she put it. So I'm like, okay, great. And then she pulls up. I have a location tracker on my phone, of course, because my parents they like to know where I am. Just make sure that I'm safe. It's overprotective parenting, of course, but like they just want to make sure I'm safe, so I'm fine with it. So she pulls up the location and she's like, "Yeah, so your phone's in the parking lot." Excuse me? What? I was just there. I was just there. And then she's like, "Oh wait, it's moving. It's inside the building. Oh wait, it's not." So I get on my brother's phone, who also has this we're in this weird circle thing where you can see each other's location. It's weird. But so I look it up on his phone and boom. We see the location of my phone and it's spastically moving around, and I'm like, okay, someone's got my phone and someone's probably bringing it inside or doing something with it. I have no idea, but it was spastically moving around, and I'm like, okay, maybe the location's like messed up, maybe like something's going on. So we are in the school parking lot, and I'm just hanging around, and so I get out to try and find the phone because, again, the location's spastically moving all over the place, and then the location stops. This is one of the creepiest parts of the story because let me just tell you, it was dark. We had gotten quesadillas at our gas station and stuff, and I was eating my quesadilla, my chicken quesadilla, in the school parking lot, and the location's spastically moving around. So I get out of the car and I run and I try and see what the heck's going on. So I'm trying to pinpoint that location, and turns out the location was something was going on. Something was messed up. Like there's something in the location that was messed up. Like maybe we didn't have enough signal, and so it was just kind of spastically moving all over the place. So whatever had my phone eventually settled down in the gym. Well, not the gym, the athletic department. And so we're like, okay, whatever. It's settled down there. We can't go inside. The school's locked. It's dark, okay? It is dark by now. We're in our school parking lot. It's freaking pitch black, and I'm just running around the parking lot looking for the phone. And I look at my brother and I'm like, dude, it's inside the school at this point. I don't know what the heck's going on. So we left, and so we went home. Phew, it was a long day. So I get home, and as soon as we get home, my mom evidently pulls up. She had to stay a little bit later today, so she came in, and I was like, okay. So I told her the rest of the story because there's more to the story than I told her, and I was like, okay. And she didn't really care, of course, because she was just like, okay, you can make your own mistakes, And I'm like, okay. So she did text this girl, Abby. Finally got her phone number, and it's kind of weird that my mom knows my friend's phone number. That's kind of weird. Like, am I wrong? Is that not weird? But like, okay, so she finally got my friend's phone number, and she says she left it. She left it. Yeah. She left it on the track. Yeah. At this point I was so angry. I was like, what the heck? You leave it while actually it wasn't on the track. It was next to the track. So she left it basically where her book bag was, and she basically saw my phone, and she's like, okay. So she left it thinking that I would have found it. She told no one. I was out on my run. She could have at least like handed it to the coach or something like that, to the long distance coach, and been like, hey, this is whatever. This is this kid's phone, can you hold on to it? No, she left it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, that's just great. Staring at my mom like, ugh, about to pop a blood vessel. It's a long story, guys. So I spent the weekend without my phone, and I was like, okay, it was fine. I mean, I'm not, I know I'm addicted to my phone. Like, what teenager these days isn't? So, but I mean, like, I can live without it. So I was like, okay, I spent some time over the weekend doing random stuff. And yeah, it actually kind of surprised me how, I don't know, how connected our society is. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, like, really and truly, but it surprised me because throughout this entire time, I was thinking, oh my goodness, like, I should call or text someone, tell them that my phone's, like, that I don't have my phone, and then it's like, oh wait, I don't have my phone to call or text them and tell them that I don't have my phone. Like that was the random thoughts that I had, and it shows just how connected our society is, and how basically useless we are without technology, which is really surprising. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like technology is it's an advancement in our society. So it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. Weird social experiment. I don't know. So flash forward to Monday. I get into school, and so I go down, and I have multiple friend groups I talk to. So I was talking to a couple of them, and so I then pull up at the friend group with this girl Abby in it, and this is the first time I see Abby since she since she had my phone, and so I was talking to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry about that." I'm like, "No, it's fine, it's fine. I was just gonna be nice about it." And so after that, they opened up the athletic department so that you can go in it and like talk to the coaches if you need to, because the bell rang and stuff like that. And so I'm going down there, and I ask one of my PE teachers, and he basically, if there was a phone that was lost, he would have known about it probably. And so I asked him, and he's like, "No, I have no idea. Why don't you ask the custodians? They might know about it." So I asked one of the custodians, and it was an awkward conversation because I had no idea who this guy was. But like I asked him, and I was like, "Hey man, have you seen my phone anywhere?" And he's like, "No, I haven't seen a phone. No, I haven't seen a phone this week." And I'm like, "Okay." So I said thank you, and I left. And so I am in first period, first mod, and that is conceptual physics. So my teacher is the wrestling coach, and I didn't think to like have two thoughts about this, that maybe one of the wrestling kids had my phone. So I am sitting there, we're taking notes, and I have my back like turned to him because I'm taking notes. And the way that the classroom is set up is basically so that the desk is facing away from him. It's weird. So, and he's like, "Hey," and I turn around, and he's like, "Have you lost a phone?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, well, I think I might have found it." I'm like, "Where?" And he says, "On the track on Friday." And I'm like, "Boy, how does this kid know that that I lost a phone, and how does he have it?" I'm like, "What? What?" Because at this point, I admitted defeat that I basically lost everything. Like the channel, I lost my phone. I had no idea where the stuff was at this point. And so I was like, honestly, pretty scared until he was like, "Oh, yeah, I have your phone." Well, and I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And so he finally he finally calls someone, and they go down to the gym, not the gym. They go down to the wrestling room, and that was where my phone was. And so one of the people gets it, brings it up to the classroom, and hands it to me. I'm like, "Oh, okay." I honestly had no idea. It just randomly, this was so random how my first mod physics teacher knew that I lost my phone on Friday at the track after school. It was so weird. And it all finally clicked. The wrestling kids, while we were running, they were out there and they were running bleachers on the other side. We were on the away side, they were on the home side. So while we were running the stadium loop and stuff like that, and then we were running the bleachers, they were on the other side running the bleachers. We left before they did. We were actually left pretty late, but they went even later. And so one of the kids picked up my phone. By the time I had come back out from, searching for my phone, I walked down to the track, and they had already picked up my phone. They left. And the funny thing is that I had walked right past them when I was looking for my phone, because they had just come in. And I walked right past them. The people that had my phone, I was searching for my phone, and I walked right by the person that actually had my phone. It all came together, and I was like, at that moment, I was like, "Oh my God." So that's the story, guys. Yeah. So I finally got my phone, and that is a long story, and it was a pretty weird story, and my phone basically went in between so many people. It's unbelievable. Oh my God. I was scared out of my mind because, like, it's a $900 phone. Like, I just got this a month ago. You really think my parents are going to turn around and see, like, "Oh, yeah, you lost your phone? Oh, okay, we'll just pay another $900, like, for another $900 phone." Like, no, they're not going to do that. I mean, bro, my parents don't spoil me that much, man. I would have to pay for my own phone. I honestly would, or I would just not have a phone for the next 2 years of my life. Yeah. So I was honestly scared, and I wasn't too afraid of my losing my phone. That was not the thing that I was most afraid of, which you would think. But I mean, it's $900. I could have worked it and paid it off. I could have paid for it if I really needed to. And I mean, I would never want to do that, of course, but if I had to, I would. But the thing that I was worried about was the channel, because that is something that money cannot buy. The channel has over 4,000 subscribers. I've worked my butt off. I've worked my butt off for this channel, man. And it's like a part-time job to me. It's like my child, man. So at the end of the day, I almost lost this, and I was so sad, and I was like, oh my God. But I finally got it back, and your boy's back after a whole weekend of all of this. Oh my God. So this will just be a story that, those 3 a.m. thoughts that you think about where it's the randomest stuff, the most embarrassing things from your childhood or whatever. That will be one of those thoughts. Months from now, I will think about this and I will cringe. All right, guys, have a great day. Like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you next time with my phone that I finally found. Have a great day, everyone. This is Kamikaze signing out.